The critics told you what they think of the movie. I'm gonna tell you what I think of the critics. It's Critique the Critics Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles edition. Let's kick some shell! Alright everybody, what's up? My name's Tech. Welcome to Critique the Critics, brought to you by Boss Level 8. Let's get it on! Alright, so the Michael Bay produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles recently came out last week. A lot of controversy. Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna ruin our childhood? Is it gonna be fun? Let's see what the critics had to say about it. We went on to Rotten Tomatoes. We were a little surprised at the giant discrepancy between the critics and the people who actually saw the movie. So we looked up the top critics that are on Rotten Tomatoes, grabbed a couple of them, and we're gonna find out what they had to say. Starting with Christy Lemire from ChristyLemire.com. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, but it really doesn't matter. So she starts off saying, April O'Neil is the most believable element in this movie. Forgive me if I'd like a little realism in my Ninja Turtles movies. Really? You want a little realism in a movie about 4 mutated turtles who have a mutated rat as a ninja master who teaches them how to be ninjas so that they can fight a guy from ancient Japan who has giant claws in New York City that doesn't even look like New York City while some reporter from the middle of nowhere is trying to report on the whole thing? She goes on to say, here's the deal this time around. It's an origin story, so novel. Let me teach you a little something, Christy, about what an origin story is. An origin story is a movie or a book or something like that that tells the origin of the characters in the movie or the book. This movie tells the origin of them in a flashback. By your definition, that means the entire series Lost is an origin story. Then she says, I brought Nicholas with me to the Ninja Turtle screening, and when Shredder appeared in all his fierce, shiny, metallic glory, he turned to me and asked, Mommy, why is Megatron here? This happens in every single review I looked at. You compare it to Megatron, you compare it to Transformers. If it wasn't made by Michael Bay, you would have said nothing. That's like saying that every time you see a giant monster like Pacific Rim or The Host or any of these movies, it's Godzilla. And then finally she says, but then I just thought about all that delicious Pizza Hut pizza and orange crush the turtles consume in the sewers, because the movie pretty much stops in its tracks to provide commercials for these products. You can't get upset about product placement, especially with Pizza Hut. They're the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can literally buy plates and napkins and cups that say, it's pizza time. Don't get mad about pizza being in the movie. That's just stupid. Wesley Morris from Grantland.com. April, a symptom of the movie's Maxim era priorities. When she happens upon the massive turtles celebrating on a rooftop, they're staggered by her hotness, especially Raphael. Did you watch the movie? It was Michelangelo who was obsessed with her the whole time, not Raphael. You literally start off your entire review with something wrong. You know, I was really upset in the Transformers movie when Bumblebee turned into a truck. That's just ridiculous. Mr. Morris goes on to say, Turtles fans might have been looking for their own Avengers. They get Alvin and the Chipmunks on performance enhancers and mass market pizza instead. In Hollywood, history repeats itself, first as farce, then as marketing. If you actually knew anything about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, originally it was a comic book that was a farce. They were making fun of comic books. You should say, in not Hollywood, because it wasn't Hollywood, it starts out as farce and then continues as farce. When was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles not farce? They're Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's in the title. It's not Tolstoy. It's not Schindler's List. Get off your ass and do some research. By the way, you probably like Shakespeare, just like every other person who's stuck up. And you know what? Pretty much everything he ever wrote was a repeat of something someone else wrote. So don't get all pissed off. Andrew O'Hare from Salon.com. Vigilantes are doing battle with the dark ninjas of the Foot Clan who long to conquer New York for nefarious purposes. Yes, the scary bad guys in the movie are called the Foot Clan. Why did you emphasize the Foot Clan? They've always been called the Foot Clan. It's not like Michael Bay decided, oh, I'm gonna make up this new name for the villains. What would you rather them be called? The Expendables? And this has to be my favorite thing that Andrew said. Lastly, I'm shocked that the idiots who wrote this movie don't know the difference between box turtles a terrestrial species with a high domed shell, and red-eared sliders, the common aquatic species sold in the pet trade, which is what the Ninja Turtles are, or were, or whatever. How does it feel to get schooled? How does it feel to suck? That is so stupid. Who cares? It's the most ridiculous thing ever. These were originally a comic book drawing. I don't think that they were really concerned with the accuracy of what kind of turtle it was when they were making ninjas out of them on paper for a comic that was a joke.
What kind of turtle are you? What are you?
The CGI used to create them also limits viewer identification. They seem like two-dimensional live-action cartoon characters. This is where James Berardinelli from RealViews.net starts his review. Hey, guess what, James? Two-dimensional live-action cartoon characters. That's pretty much what they always were. It functions primarily as a 100-minute commercial for the toys. Of course it's a commercial for toys. This is a kids movie. Don't get mad about a kids movie. I bet you're a fan of this, but here's 3 commercials specifically to sell toys. Just because you like the movie does not mean that this isn't mass marketing. If it really wasn't mass marketing, then George Lucas wouldn't have been a frickin' genius for signing the rights for all of the merchandising ahead of time, which made him a billionaire and makes it so that he has a frickin' mansion named after the movie. So he goes on to say it looks and feels like a big screen 3D video game. The final confrontation with Shredder plays out like a boss level. This is only our first video, James, but thanks a lot for the shout out. Hope you keep watching Boss Level. Amy Nicholson from LA Weekly. I had a lot of fun reading your review, let me tell you. But it wasn't the kind of fun that you want to hear. This TMNT is bigger and emptier, a wasteland of pixels. Instead of the visceral chills of alleyway crooks, the evil master scheme is, pharmaceutical fraud. Terrifying to anyone with an HMO, none of whom will buy a ticket to the movie. Now this is just insane. Every single movie that has a superhero has a supervillain, and every single supervillain is using some sort of weapon to take over the city or the world or something. And in this day and age, where you're making a modernized version of something, what is a better weapon than chemical warfare? I mean, we're constantly scared of it. It's the best weapon you can use. And again, Amy Nicholson obviously, writes some stuff about how it's product placement and all of that. And of course, the sexualization of Megan Fox. She is acknowledged 0 times for her smarts and dozens of times for her looks. Whether she's derailing a car chase by accidentally distracting the driver, Will Arnett, with her butt, or enduring Michelangelo's lusty pant so hot I could feel my shell tightening. Well, Amy, you seem to be incredibly, incredibly concerned with the fact that someone was sexualized. And yet when Twilight Saga Eclipse came out, you had absolutely no problem with it. You gave it a 3.5 out of 5 when the entire movie involves 2 guys who are shirtless the whole time. It was literally just a vehicle to make it so that 13-year-old girls who don't understand the tingling feeling in their pants have something to look at and kind of figure it out. What is happening to my body? And maybe this is kind of a nerdy thing, but you kind of missed the mark on something. You go on to say that the turtles have super strength, etc., etc. William Fichtner's character makes a joke and says, and we were going to use rabbits. What? You mean like this guy? Cliff Lee from the Globe and Mail. Even odder is the subplot where Fenwick is pegged for the comedic effect and the sad sack sidekick with a crush on the heroine. The 16-year age difference between Fox and Arnett may more aptly be considered creepy. Let me tell you something. Yeah, it may be creepy if Will Arnett and Megan Fox were actually together, but it's a matter of their characters. First of all, they don't even get together in the movie. Secondly, how many actors can play characters younger, older, etc. than them? Is it really that creepy when Elijah Wood, who actually looks like he's 13 but is in his 30s, plays a high school student and has to make out with someone who's 18? No, it's because their characters are doing it. What if someone puts on makeup to make themselves look like they're 65 and have to be married to a 65-year-old? It's called acting. It's really not a big deal. Paul McCartney has been dating people who are in their 20s since he's been 60. What's the matter, Cliff? You don't like the Beatles? And finally, a reviewer who actually knows how to review a movie. A review of a movie isn't just you rehashing the plot or giving some blown out opinion of yours and whether or not you like the movie because of some standard that you hold true. A review of a movie is whether or not other people will like that movie. So let's give credit to Adam Graham from Detroit News, who said, yes, it's another one of Michael Bay's brainless attempts to shamelessly cash in on the late 80s and early 90s nostalgia. But if you accept that, and don't mind what amounts to several commercials for a well-known national pizza chain baked into this movie, Ninja Turtles is not without its charms. If it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles you want, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles you get. King Lear, it's not. Cowabunga, dudes. Nicely done, Adam Graham. You actually reviewed a movie like a movie reviewer, letting us know if we'd want to see it. And that's why we're giving you a golden 8. Well, that's it for this episode of Critique the Critics. My name is Tech. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. If you guys want to be a boss, make sure you subscribe to Boss Level 8 right down there. Also, make sure you like this video. I want to hear your comments. Did you like the reviews? Did you like the movie? Let us know. What should we talk about next? What critics are pissing you off? Which ones make you happy? Is there someone you actually listen to? We want to know. We'll see you next time. Have a great one. Geek out and game on.